The fight over the Confederate flag continues in the wake, of course, of the shootings in Charleston, where 9 people, including a state senator, lost their lives to a white supremacist gunman. This newest front in this flag fight comes from Mississippi. Now, the champion for this fight comes from House Speaker Philip Gunn, who's a Republican representing Mississippi's 56th district. So he says, when it comes to the flag, we must always remember our past, but that does not mean we must let it define us. As a Christian, I believe our state flag has become a point of offense that needs to be removed. We need to begin having conversations about changing Mississippi's flag. Now, the flag of Mississippi, it's not the Confederate battle flag, but it does have that as part of the flag's design. Now, Philip Gunn, he's the first Mississippi politician to say, well, you know, maybe we should change that flag. Now, in 2001, there was a ballot proposal in order to keep that part of the flag in the Mississippi state flag. Now, most people in Mississippi voted at a 2-to-1 margin in 2001 to keep the flag used since 1894, which of course included the Confederate battle flag. Now, not everybody in Mississippi wants to have that conversation. As you can see, back in 2001, the voters, 2-to-1, as I said, voted to keep that, and the legislature there, the congressmen and women, didn't exactly feel the need for it to change. Philip Gunn is, of course, the first Republican to even bring it up. State Senator Melanie Sojourner, who's a Republican, posted on her official Facebook page actually trashing Mitt Romney for calling for the flag's removal and saying this about the flag. Quote, "The flag was no more the source of horrible acts against mankind than a gun is the source of someone's death. The source is the hatred and evil that resides in our hearts of some who live and have lived among us. We all have a responsibility to make certain that it is the source we address and not place the blame on something that alone could do no harm. Simply placing blame on something that some see as a symbol only perpetuates the problem." The thing is that it is a symbol. It is a symbol. It's a symbol of racism. It's a symbol of division. It's a symbol of a country that is it's a symbol of treason, is what I'm trying to say. A country that broke away in order to continue the institution of slavery. And of course, some of you might say, no, that's it's not about race. It's heritage. It's about bravery. It's about states' rights, which is not at all correct. That is wrong. In fact, slavery was the cornerstone of the Confederacy. And the reason, one of the very, very big economic reasons that the Confederacy even tried to exist. For example, this cornerstone speech by Alexander Stephens, who was the vice president of the Confederacy. He said, "They, meaning the Founding Fathers, rested upon the assumption of the equality of races. This was an error. It was a sandy foundation, and the idea of a government built upon it. When the storm came and the wind blew, it fell. Our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite idea. Its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and normal condition." That is the heritage of the battle flag. It is a heritage of hate. It is a heritage of division. It is a heritage of slavery. Now, just as Gunn said, we must always remember our past. Of course, you have to remember the past in order to make sure that you don't repeat that past. And that is the only point of remembering this, flag, and why I think it should be in a museum, labeled under giant ass mistake. or legacy of racism, something. But it certainly does not belong on any of our state's flags, or flying up above a state house as it was in South Carolina. Now, once again, I always have to mention this because I'm sure some people get up in arms about it and say, yeah, but what about the free speech angle? What about free speech? It's my right to convey my Confederate flag on my truck. Well, nobody's stopping that. Nobody wants to stop you from doing that. In fact, as John Oliver put it, it should be encouraged so that we know what kind of person you are, so that it identifies you. And look, if you think that that's your heritage, you're misinformed. But if you're still proud of it and ignorant and still want to put it on your truck, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. You want to put it on the back of your truck, you want to put it on your license plate, you want to wear a Confederate hat. That's up to you. But when it comes to the state, well, that's a different thing. And I know, I got family. I got family that wears, that uses the Confederate flag. I got an uncle that wears a Confederate hat. I don't agree with it, but that is part of his free speech. And that's fine. But when, as I said, when it comes to the state house, when it comes to the government, whether state and local government, that should not be displayed because it sends a message. And it sends, I think, the wrong kind of message.